Have you ever wanted to know the moment that the client is ready to make the decision? Make the decision to buy from you. They're in that moment where they know that change has to happen. And I want you to imagine that you know exactly what that moment of shift is, what that trigger moment is for them, what causes it, what they're thinking, and how you can start to speak to it. That is exactly what we're talking about today. And I'm going to share 4 questions that you can ask yourself that's going to make a big difference to the way that you communicate with your dream client to help them identify when is the right time for them to start working with you. I was talking to my Amplify clients about this the other day. One of my clients used it. She got 2 inquiries off 1 post. So I know it works. It's also worked for me, and it's worked for a number of other business friends who I've had this conversation with, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. But if we've not met, I'm Sis Chadwick. I'm a personal brand and business coach, helping you build a personal brand that sells for you and helping you get out of your own way so that you're not the bottleneck and the block to your own success. Now, I was at an event a little while ago and I was having dinner with a girl who is a brand strategist. And we were having this conversation where she said, once she understood exactly what had happened within an organization before they contacted her, she started to see a pattern. And once she saw that pattern, she was then able to deliberately make sure that she was able to connect with more businesses that were going through that particular thing at the time. So, for example, when there was a new CEO coming into a business, then 9 times out of 10, they would want to redo the brand strategy, take a look at how they could make their impact, put their fingerprint on it, and shake things up. And so she started to take a look at the types of companies that she wanted to work with. And whenever there was a new leadership change, a new CEO, she would be connecting because she knew that a lot of the time they would be looking for somebody to help them with their brand strategy. So you can do this as a business owner as well. And I think it's such an interesting process to go through because it really goes down to a much deeper level. And I think it also gets you to ask yourself questions that you need to know the answer to in order to connect with your audience at a time they're ready to start working with you. So let's dive into the questions. Number 1 is, what result are they looking to get? And what real life reason is making it urgent? And we want to skip the fluff, skip the jargon, like we want a real life answer here. Because at the end of the day, we are talking to clients who are in real life situations. So for example, they want consistent revenue so that they can stop white knuckling it every single month. Or they want a brand glow up because they're tired of feeling embarrassed by what it is they're putting out there. Or they want leverage, something scalable so that they can actually see their kids without working all the time. So one of the ways that you can find the answers to a lot of the questions we're going to ask today are definitely going to be from your discovery calls, from conversations that you've had with potential clients and clients that have now worked with you. What was happening in their life at that moment in time? For me, a lot of my clients have had a successful business potentially offline, and now they're ready to go online. They're feeling tired, they're feeling burnt out, they don't want to do the one-on-one anymore, and they want to start building their personal brand so that they can start attracting clients to them and have scalable assets where people can work with them without it costing them all of their time. And often it's clients who are in their late 30s or they're coming into their mid to late 40s, and they've been working already for 15, 20 years, and they're ready to make that change. And so just starting to have that conversation, like, you've been working really hard, you've done the work, you've delivered it, but you don't want to be constantly going on client site. You don't want to be trading your time for money. You're in a different stage of life. And so I might use that. You're in a different stage of life. You're ready to have clients who come and learn from you, who work with you, but you're not trading hours for dollars. And so building scalable assets is how you're going to be able to do that. Creating a powerful personal brand that attracts the right clients is how you're going to be able to do that. And so really looking at the result and the reason is our question 1. What's the result they want? And what's the reason that now is the time? And we don't want it to be fluffy, otherwise it's going to feel really generic. So go back over discovery calls that you had And if you don't ask this question, you should be asking the question is why now? And what's the result that you're looking for, which I'm sure you're asking anyway, but why now? And that why now question is gold. And you want to think about this as the objective and the oxygen. It's why they really want it. I want this outcome because I need this thing to shift in my life. And if you're thinking, but my clients want a lot of things, at the end of the day, most people shift because of one big reason. Yes, there might be other reasons, but usually there's one thing that happened or is happening that they need to make this shift now. Question number 2 is, what have they already tried? So it could be that they've tried more content, they've tried courses, they've maybe worked with other coaches, they've done their own research to find solutions, but it's not worked. And you not only need to know what they've tried, you want to know why it hasn't worked. So for example, I bought courses and they didn't work. Why didn't they work? I didn't have time to go through them. Or I worked with other coaches, but it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because I didn't have time to implement, or I tried their strategy, it didn't work, whatever it might be. Maybe they've done random things where they tried it once, and if it didn't work, then they gave up. And as we know with a lot of strategies, it takes time for it to work. It may not go gangbusters the first time you do something, but the more that you get better at it, the better it becomes. And so just understanding a little bit more about their mindset, the way that they work, what they're willing to do, and understanding why those things haven't worked for them in the past is really important. It is actually a question that I do ask when I'm in a discovery call as well. Have you worked with another coach before? What was your experience? What else have you tried? What worked? What didn't work? Why? So your discovery call, if you're having those, or if you've got an application form for your mastermind or whatever your program or how to work with you is, you need to be asking these questions. Because ideally, you want the message to be, you're not the problem, the plan's the problem. Like you obviously have the right plan for them. And the thing is that once you understand that, then you can explain to them why that solution maybe wasn't the right one for them and how your solution is going to help them. Obviously, if it is going to help them, because we always want to act in integrity as well. Question number 3 is, what external shift just happened that made them snap into making this decision? So what external event happened that made them move or take action right now? It could be business things like an offer flopped, their revenue's down, they've got a full calendar, but not enough income. Maybe there's a big opportunity that's available to them, but they're not ready to make the move and they need support with that. Or it could be life things like a baby, married, moving, whatever it might be. And the reason that we want to know this is because when one person's experiencing it, other people are. And if you've got a range of clients that come to you when they've just been going it alone and they know that they need support, like they're ready to leave their corporate job, they've just finished up in a course or a program and they're ready for something different and new. It could even be a milestone birthday. But just understanding this means that you can incorporate that into your content as well. If you're at an age now where you're done trading your hours for dollars and you want more freedom and more leverage, because you want to spend time with the kids, you want to go on holidays more, whatever it might be, then now's the time to take that action. And question number 4 is a little bit the opposite of question number 3, because question number 3 is about the external event. And question number 4 is, what internal belief, fear, or self-talk has hit breaking point? So these aren't events that happen externally, they're whispers internally. They're the internal voice where they're just like, I'm done with thinking this. I'm done with feeling this. I'm done with saying this to myself. And it could be things like, I should be further along, which is a pretty common one. Or I'm really embarrassed how outdated my brand is. People aren't going to think I'm very good. I feel like I'm so good at what I do, but I'm just invisible. They might be worried that they'll burn out before anything works. And I think a really big one is the shame of being in planning constantly and not taking action. And for me, as a coach, mainly for women, I do work with some men who are brand aligned, but for a lot of women, the piece about getting out of their own way, I hear that all the time. Like, I'm the bottleneck. I'm the one who's in my own way. I know what I need to do and I'm just not doing it. And there's a whole lot of mindset and identity work that I do with clients around it. Because at the end of the day, you can have amazing strategies and those strategies can absolutely work. But if you're constantly telling yourself they're not going to work, then that is going to be obviously a massive block. So for me personally, and you can obviously think about what that is for you, for me, those internal beliefs and fears are a lot of the time around self-sabotage. It's they're smart, they've been successful, they know what they're doing, they understand what the strategy is, but they keep telling themselves that they can't do it, they're not good enough, this is not going to work for them, they don't have time, whatever the excuse is. And those internal whispers are the cracks that start showing before the building collapses, and they know it. And it's really about helping your client to identify what is the sentence that's just looping in their head that's keeping them stuck at where they are right now. So when you build your messaging around these 4 questions, there are a number of things that happen. Number 1, your clients feel really seen because you're going so much deeper. It's not surface. You've actually spoken to other people where they feel this way. And so the clients who are looking for your help, a lot of them might have the same feelings, thoughts, and fears. Buyers self-qualify as well because they're like, oh my gosh, yes, that's me. And you're really showing them that you understand what it is they're going through and that now is the time for them to change. People will reach out faster, your sales cycles will be shorter, and your content becomes more of a mirror. And I think that when we speak to people on that deeper level about the things that are what results that they want, what they've already tried, what's happening externally for them, what's happening internally for them from a belief perspective, then you've got a really robust message that's going to land. And as I said, one of my clients did this on LinkedIn, and it was such a great post around how this particular client feels when they see competitors doing something that they're not doing, and the fact that it's something that's always on the to-do list and that they never make the time to make it happen. And she got people that reached out to her. When we're able to become a mirror to the clients that we want to work with, that's how you can stand out when you're speaking directly to that. And so give those 4 questions a go. And if you've got information from previous coaching discovery calls or maybe from clients that you've worked with, just really thinking about what was happening in their life at that moment. What was the reason that they decided to come to me then? What were they thinking? What were they feeling? And I'll give you an example. A client said to me, I've been working with a coach, but she never held me accountable. And I knew that you would not be like that because I am a tough love coach. I do not let my clients get away with things that I know they don't want to get away with. Like they want the results. I've had other clients because I came out of corporate and I came out of consulting. I've had clients who have been wanting to get out of corporate who come to me because they feel like I understand what they've been through and they're at that moment in life where their kids are getting older, they're wanting to not be out and about as much. And so speaking to that, and I think that if you've experienced something, if you've been through something and you were able to do it and you can talk about, that's also going to really resonate and help people when they're in that moment of who do I work with. I know Suze went through that. I know she talks about that. So I feel like that really resonates for me, then that's also going to be powerful for you. Now, I actually created a custom GPT that takes you through this and asks you questions and then gives you some story outputs because I think they're more powerful. And so if you want to grab that, then it's just below this video as well. But that's it. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, obviously I would love you to subscribe and share it. And as always, if you want to listen to the audio of this, then you can catch it on the Brand Builders Lab podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps. But otherwise, see you next time.